Over this past weekend and currently this weekend right now, the Battlefield 6 open beta has been a bit of a success, kids. Okay, in case you haven't heard, Battlefield 6 open beta hits 500,000 concurrent players on Steam, just on Steam, and passes Call of Duty's all-time high. Yeah, it was anticipated because on the first couple of days, the early access days, it was already, outside of Warzone, the most successful Battlefield game on Twitch, and yeah, eclipsing, every other Call of Duty release as well, and that was just for the beta. Battlefield 6 has smashed past the 500,000 concurrent player mark on Steam, surpassing Call of Duty's all-time high of 491,000. So yeah, no caveats included on this one. The open beta was huge. The milestone was hit just minutes ago as the game first sees its open beta date kickoff today. Well, actually, we got the numbers right now, and honestly, it's a little bit shocking, guys, because at the time of recording, you take a look at this, and it's like 2,900. What happened? The game totally collapsed. No. I'm recording this Monday evening, just in case, to just pull the curtain back a little bit, and I'll be interested to see, especially with the changes they're going to make during the week. Are they going to be able to eclipse that 521,000 concurrent players? Because now that we're hearing, now that people have had hands-on, and that there's a lot of people that are out there, they really enjoyed this game, and I've seen some of the gameplay that's out there, and it looks pretty damn good. The comparison against Call of Duty is somewhat unfair. Oh, really? It's worth noting that Battlefield 6 is an open beta, but also isn't like Warzone free to play, so is that really that much of a difference? Yes, however, the game has smashed past Call of Duty's all-time highs for Steam, which includes the highly popular and free to play, Warzone. See, I think that would be fairly analogous, right? And any betas that have taken place over the past couple of years. So yeah, this is going to be, because this is going to be huge, especially, if they do right, if they continue on this trajectory, because one of the things that kills new Call of Duty releases dead within weeks of release is just cheaters run amok. Activision doesn't give a shit. They got their early money and then they just peace out, and then they just let their multiplayer twist in the wind. Like, they've done it time and time again. But apparently EA and Battlefield, they're going to be cracking down on this shit because, yes, their anti-cheat engine has blocked 330,000 cheating attempts. I'm sure there are some that ended up slipping through the cracks. There was a VTuber that ended up getting banned outright because they were streaming themselves with cheats because, I don't know, there's still retards on the internet that didn't realize that you're not allowed to do that. But all right, good luck, stupid. But no, if they're taking this seriously, and if that's how many people are still just trying to hop into a beta and cheat, okay, man. Here's the thing. I like to play JRPGs, and after I play them through a couple of different times, if I want to, especially, harkening back to the PlayStation and the PS2 days, you could fire up an Action Replay or a Game Shark. It's always fun to just mess around in that stuff, so cheating is fun, but when it comes to online multiplayer, no, why are you doing this? Okay, so Battlefield 6 has a huge task on its hands when it comes to longevity and stability in the game. The beta kicked off just a couple of days ago, and the Javelin anti-cheat engine has already contended with more than 330,000 cheating attempts. So yes, recently clips started circulating on social media showing malicious operators cheating during the beta, which is weird. Yes, stop doing that. The Spear team manages Javelin, pointed out that all is well. The community is making plenty of reports and cheaters are being actively banned. The fact that they're, engaged with the community, hopefully this continues on to the full release, because it's bizarre that people are cheating during a beta of all things. But I guess, yes, these slimy oddball cheat manufacturers have to, perfect their craft somewhere ahead of the game's release on October 10th, which, if any of these numbers, if the beta interaction on this is anywhere analogous, I mean, the last time we seen an open beta about this time last year, it was Concord, and honestly, okay, the beta numbers were higher than the release totals, so I think though Battlefield would probably be fine, even if it is a little bit lower than its open beta when it comes to release. But I'm seeing nothing but widespread praise for this, because you take a look at the competition, man, and we talked about this last week, is internally Activision thinks that, Call of Duty is too big to fail. Why should we worry about any of this stuff? Because, hey, we got Black Ops 7, okay? We got a new release. We got a big event coming. It's right around the corner, but don't worry, guys. We can go ahead and bank on nostalgia for Black Ops 7, Call of Duty to rely on 17-year-old character to drive pre-orders for Black Ops 7. Can you look any more out of touch? Battlefield 6, is returning Battlefield to what people want. It's innovating on the formula that made them so successful during the time of 3 and 4. It's a squad-based military shooter with a bunch of cool vehicles and mechanics that you get when you think of a Battlefield game. What is Call of Duty doing right now? Yeah, banking on nostalgia. Reznov. Okay, in a series of social media posts, the Reznov Challenge Pack was unveiled, and data miners finding the triple pack of skins focused on, Victor Reznov, a character first seen in 2008's World at War. Jesus Christ, man. You're hearkening back to games that most of the people religiously playing Warzone and new Call of Duties weren't even alive to play? God damn it, man. I remember playing World at War. Fucking hate that game. The trash game all the way around. I hate this revisionist history that actually like World at War was really good. No, it was trash all the way around. Yeah, but it introduced zombies. Yeah, it didn't get perfected until Black Ops came around, so shut your mouth. But cool, man. Instead of iterating, instead of doing something new, no, it's callbacks and it's shit that looks like, what the fuck is even this? This is Call of Duty? This is what Call of Duty is. I don't know, something that looks like a Crash Bandicoot level on your gun. Like, this is what is. Okay, cool. There's a reason. That is exactly why. That and a bunch of god-awful looking skins for your characters. This is why Battlefield has an opportunity to crack through. This is why, according to former Blizzard executives, Battlefield 6 is going to raffle stomp. You just go ahead and throw back to something probably also from 2007. Going to boot stomp Call of Duty this year, according to the former Blizzard boss, who's talking this shit, okay? According to a former president of Blizzard Entertainment, Call of Duty is going to receive a boot stomp from Battlefield 6, which could be a good thing for the FPS genre. Exactly. It's kind of like how WWE, the Fed, I was just going to say the Fed, but I needed to clarify that, went through an absolute period of stagnation from about the time that WCW closed up and all of those guys ran out their Time Warner contracts. So from about John Cena's reign onward, when they had no legitimate competition, TNA's still laughing at you, and it's so funny that they've ostensibly become a farm system for NXT, lol. But it wasn't until AEW came around in 2019 and gave them a swift kick in the ass that they didn't start to up their game. Now, they've fallen off quite a bit. Actually, both companies have, now that I think about it, but everybody needs competition. Competition drives ingenuity. It makes you take risks, and we have seen what Call of Duty has done now that Halo has fallen off, that Battlefield was a niche game where people went back and were playing, 1 and 5 over everything else, over their newer releases. But now that there's a one challenger to the throne, we're going to see what happens with 7, but I'd be more interested to see what Call of Duty does next year. But I digress. Back to this. The hype surrounding 6 is unreal. The thousands of players just flocking to the game's beta, over 500,000 when it's all said and done over its weekend, but spotted by Games Radar, former president for Blizzard Entertainment, Mike Ybarra, posted about Battlefield 6 and Call of Duty on his X account. Ybarra's post states, Battlefield will boot stomp Call of Duty in 2025. He adds that the real win here would be that this competition will stop Call of Duty from being lazy, and a better FPS games can come from it. 1000% could not agree with you more, because we know at this point in time, like the way that Microsoft is shutting down studios left and right, and anybody who is still left from all of those studio cullings, they're just folded into Call of Duty support studios. So yeah, Call of Duty is very important to Xbox gaming. They're the foundational pillar of the Xbox brand moving forward, so it needs to succeed. It needs to be one of the big top dogs. And so if Battlefield 6 comes along and exposes their slobbish behavior, that's a win-win as far as I'm concerned. So Ybarra added in a follow-up tweet that Call of Duty has been going downhill for years. I can't agree more. The game's a mess, the former president adds with issues such as cheating, heavy UI install, rainbow colors, and more present. Ybarra hopes that Battlefield 6 could be the game that changes things for Call of Duty. And I really hope so, man, because that internal report that they believe, Activision believes that Call of Duty is too big to fail. It's definitely going to be a wake-up call, especially over this weekend. I'll be very interested to see, and I'm sure I'll be following up on this because I find this very, very interesting, If it eclipses that 500,000 concurrent players, I'd imagine it would. And then especially in October, when there's very little else that's coming out, October 10th, when the game fully launches, what are those numbers going to look like? What's the concurrent numbers going to look like, because by the time that Black Ops 7 rolls around, there will be the cope out there that, oh, it's also out on Game Pass, so you don't know exactly how well it performs. But going into next year, we'll see if there's any course correction coming out of Call of Duty, or if they still have their heads so far up their ass that they think that they could just go ahead and plunk on another female rapper skin, and that is just going to go ahead and tide people over. They're going to be sadly and sorely fucking mistaken. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.